6 o'clock. We will call this meeting to order. We'll begin with Pledge of Allegiance led by Trustee Glenn Davis.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Just as a reminder, make sure we're turning our microphones on when we want to talk. And we'll do a roll call to establish quorum. Len Davis. Here. Heather McGee. Here. Greg Lewis.
Here.
Darren Miller.
Here.
Jacob Martinez. Here. And Chair is here. Tim is absent. We have established a quorum. And I will take a movement to accept the agenda.
I move that we approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
It's been It's been moved and seconded to accept the agenda as presented. Roll call vote. Trustee Davis. Aye. Trustee McGee. Aye. Trustee Lewis.
Aye.
Trustee Miller.
Aye.
Trustee Martinez.
Aye.
And Chair votes aye. That will take us to our good news portion of the evening. Mr. Hilton.
Okay, thank you, President Brooks. Good evening, trustees. Trustees, I have the pleasure this evening of introducing and welcoming, so you can come on up. She doesn't want to, but I'm going to make her come to the podium. I have the pleasure of introducing Miss Amanda Clark this evening. Amanda is the new Tecumseh Public Schools Coordinator of Business Services. She has joined our team. It's only been about 3 weeks. Amanda, welcome. I'm certainly excited that you're here. And trustees, I've said this before, you know I love this logo. And this logo, I think, gives us even a little bit more of a sense of meaning this evening, as Amanda is a 2019 graduate of Tecumseh High School. So one tribe takes on a little bit of a different flavor tonight. So Amanda has spent the last 4 years or so with the Eaton Corporation, both as a credit analyst and a financial analyst, and she is now our coordinator of business services, serving under Mr. Steve Lenar, who will continue to be our director, where Amanda has jumped into the deep end, so to speak, and has picked up so much already. Amanda, I'm super excited you're here. Trustees, Amanda Clark. All right, thank you, Amanda.
Welcome.
All right, next up tonight, trustees, as part of good news, I decided to slide in the spring sports update. Certainly, we have had another season of exceptional accomplishments within our athletics program. And Mr. Zajac is coming up to the podium right now. He's going to walk you through the highlights from our spring sports season, and he will actually touch on our coaches of the year. Mr. Zajac, take it away.
Good evening, good afternoon. You guys should have another pamphlet. You guys are used to this, I'm sure, by now. It kind of explains every sport, what the record, where they finished SEC, the All-SEC accolades, All-State accolades, if any, state qualifiers. Something we're really proud of is our overall high school GPA was a 3.37. Again, which is outstanding. I don't think we've been below a 3.0, should knock on wood, since we've been here. It's pretty awesome that our student athletes can maintain that while juggling a normal life. Our middle school GPA was 3.42. We decided doing that this year, putting our middle school GPA in there just to kind of see what those kids did, how they tracked in high school, you know, and so far it's been really good. They've been above a 3.02, so I like that correlation between middle school and high school. Kind of makes us forget about being a student athlete, student first, athlete second. So now on to our sports. Our softball team was Team Academic All-State, which is pretty awesome. We had 280 student athletes compete at the high school level and 112 compete at the middle school level for a total of 392 kids in the spring. We had 3 SEC and 1 district championship. Our coaches had an amazing year, as Mr. Hilton had up, and I'll talk about it in a minute too. But in the fall and the spring, we had Katie Tobias, our softball coach, was SEC Coach of the Year. Tom Bullinger, our baseball coach, was SEC and District Coach of the Year. And Jen Morgan, our tennis coach, was SEC Coach of the Year. There's a story about tennis. I don't know if you guys know our tennis program. I'm sure you guys know our tennis program. So it's fairly new. And when Jen and Tecumseh played Chelsea, they decided to play their B team against us, thinking that they would just destroy us. We ended up beating them, and our coach was really upset, parents were upset, kids were upset from Chelsea. We ended up beating them, so that's why we won our SEC championship. They have not lost SEC championship probably in 20, 30 years. They're state contenders, regularly always compete for state championships. So when Tecumseh beat them, they were not very happy, and we loved it. We loved it. If you keep going, they are the track, girls soccer, boys golf. I'm not going to go over each one because you guys don't have a full agenda and let you get to it, but it was a very successful spring for us. It just ended last week. Our baseball team lost in a regional final in extra innings to a private school, the Dearborn Divine Child, 2-1. Had some chances. It was a great game, but both teams played awesome. It was at EMU, so the kids had a great time, great experience. It was a pretty amazing experience for them. Now, I did put on a back page our 25-26 all-sports summary. It kind of shows what we've done throughout the seasons, throughout the years of the fall, winter, and spring. Just an overall view of where we are and what we did. So our overall GPA for the whole entire year was a 3.33. We did have 6 teams earn all-academic, all-state recognition. Football, volleyball, girls golf, girls basketball, cheer, and softball were all team academic all-state, which is pretty awesome. There were 705 participants in athletics throughout the year in high school. So it's not 705 kids, it's just 705 participants. So kids could play 2 or 3 sports, but that is a fairly large number for our small school. I think we have 736 in the high school. And it's not 705 kids playing, but it's still a large number of our kids playing multiple sports. So we try to honor those kids that do multiple sports. We have a 3-sport athlete kind of plaque on a wall that kind of honors those kids that play 3 varsity sports in a season. So the kids like that, and that's kind of something we put up a couple years ago. So it was pretty awesome to have 705 kids. Our teams were very successful this year. We had 7 SEC, 3 district, 4 regional championships, and 1 state runner-up. Again, pretty successful year. We did have 71 all-SEC first-team selections. So from our fall, winter, and spring kids, 71 of them were all-SEC first-team. We had 6 Coach of the Year recipients. If Mr. Hilton can kind of scroll to the next one. This is something that we're pretty proud of. We recognize all of our coaches that were Coaches of the Year. And Mr. Bullinger, he just was the District Coach of the Year too. So he's the SEC Coach and District Coach of the Year. And there's still some other stuff for softball coming out. But pretty awesome to honor these coaches who put their time with our kids. So I'm very, very proud of what these guys accomplished this year. Any questions for me? Thanks. Thank you, Jeff. Have a great summer, guys.
Thanks, John. You have more good news? Okay. So ending the good news, that will take us to public comment. Before I read the blurb, do we have public comment? Not seeing any, we will move on. And that will take us into discussion.
Okay, trustees, first up tonight as a discussion item is the 2026-27 Michigan High School Athletic Association membership resolution. You know, trustees, that the MHSAA requires school districts to annually adopt a membership resolution to participate in MHSAA-sponsored programs, competitions, tournaments, and postseason events. So approval of this resolution renews our membership for the upcoming school year and authorizes the district to continue operating its interscholastic athletic programs in accordance with the MHSAA rules, regulations, and eligibility requirements. You'll not vote this evening as this is only a first briefing, but I will pause here to see if there are any questions, thoughts, concerns, or discussion from board members.
With the resolution, have they provided any guidance to schools on NIL?
They have not, no. But that is certainly something that's on my radar. It's on Mr. Zajak's radar, and we are staying connected with our council on NIL and how we approach this.
So do we know of any significant changes from last year to the resolution, or is it pretty much the same?
It's pretty much the same, yep. Okay, moving on, I have as the next 2 discussion items, Herrick Park and the TPS land here at the high school. Starting with Herrick Park, trustees, I wanted to give you an update about the offer that has come in for the Herrick Park property. As you know, this offer does come from an investor who has recently acquired the old TPS administration building on Ottawa Street. And the plan for Herrick Park, as I've mentioned before, continues to be that of a mixed-use property, primarily residential residential and apartment space with some possibilities for office space for startup businesses. The buyer has created an entity name of 600 Herrick Park LLC, and we now have a signed offer for $50,000. The building would be sold as is with a closing date of no later than July 31, 2026. Later this evening, you will vote on a resolution that would allow me to execute the purchase agreement on behalf of the district. I'd be happy to take any questions, thoughts about Herrick Park right now.
So I know the city brought this buyer to us, right?
Correct.
But do we have any more information about his discussions with the city and their kind of consensus with his use plan?
So the discussions that I have had with some city officials has been that the buyer is very motivated and they are working with him. He is already down the road of a PUD. Remind me what
Planned unit development.
Planned unit development. He has a site plan that he has shared with city officials, and he is full steam ahead. Any other questions on Herrick Park?
Were there any encounters that you made or any negotiation?
Yes, we certainly did that. We had some discussions. He was in a place where he believes that this is a fair offer, and he is down the road, like I mentioned, with the Ottawa Street building, and he was firm in his $50,000 offer.
Do you know how much we purchased the other?
I don't.
It was in the paper, is 51,000.
Oh.
Sorry, how much?
51. The admin building that, yeah.
Can you say that again?
51,000 is what was in the paper.
Okay, moving on. In terms of the Tecumseh High School land offer, trustees, you know we have a signed purchase agreement for an approximate 6 acres of land that is in an L shape at the southernmost end of the Tecumseh High School property. As an update to this offer, the purchaser has now agreed to pay for the staked survey of the property himself, and the sale is contingent upon a land division approval from the governing municipality, or in this instance, the city of Tecumseh. The offer is for $32,000, and the buyer will work with the city on the land division approval. The property would be sold as is, with the offer expiring on June 23, 2026. Later this evening, you will vote on a resolution that would allow me to execute the purchase agreement on behalf of the district. Is there any questions or discussion from members?
The land division is just to divide the land from the high school property?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Not to divide it further for other use?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, he would have to go, excuse me, he'd have to get a stakes in place survey with a legal description, take that to the city, and create a separate tax ID number for that parcel to be split off of our parcel. And then that's how they would differentiate his from ours.
Okay, thank you, trustees. President Brooks, I'll turn it back to you.
That will take us to the consent agenda.
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Roll call vote. Sorry. Trustee Davis? Aye. Trustee McGee? Aye. Trustee Lewis?
Aye.
Trustee Miller?
Aye.
Trustee Martinez?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye.
Ms. Brooks, I do apologize. I left off one other discussion item, and that is of the Tecumseh Middle School elevator project.
Okay.
I move to amend the agenda to add discussion of the middle school elevator project.
Second.
Quick vote. Trustee Davis? Aye. Trustee McGee? Aye. Trustee Lewis?
Aye.
Trustee Miller?
Aye.
Trustee Martinez?
Aye.
And chair votes aye. Okay, we have added a discussion item. And that takes us to Josh. Yes, sir.
The elevator discussion is on the agenda. We take these in.
Oh, it's not on mine. I apologize.
We're covered.
We're covered.
Okay.
Okay.
So, middle school elevator. So, as you guys are aware, we were doing some repairs to the elevator this year that the board had previously approved. We had scheduled for the first week of June here when school gets out. Unfortunately, when they removed the existing jack underneath that elevator that was leaking, they found that there is no casing in the ground at all holding that jack. It was just pounded into actual clay. So that does not meet any standards or codes of the new systems anymore. I did provide some information to the board that you guys could look at. It was from the state of Washington, but it's very similar as to Michigan's, just Michigan didn't provide a lot of good pictures and things in their information. But so essentially what needs to happen in order to move forward with installing this new jack at the elevator is they need to bring in a well drilling company and actually drill a vertical bore into the ground. They could put a sleeve in, and then that sleeve is where the new piston jack sits that actually operates that elevator. It's crucial that they use a well drilling company like that because it has to be very precise to make sure that it's straight up and down in order to operate the elevator properly. Unfortunately, that does come with a cost. The elevator company we work with, elevator service company, reached out to a couple of their vendors to find out who had availability and what that cost looked like, and that is the quote that you have in your packets. Is the best pricing they could find for us was the $97,400, and it's a 5 to 6 week lead time to get them here. So right now we're looking at, if this is approved tonight, we'd be able to move forward with this and have it done still before school starts because they need about a week after this casing goes in to get that elevator going.
Hey Josh, can you remind us of the cost of the elevator repair?
Yeah, so the original cost of the elevator repair was about $99,000. We paid half in year 24-25, and then we paid the other half in this fiscal year in order to start here in June.
How far does this casing have to go down if you have a well driller?
2 stories, so yeah, it's got to go the length of the elevator, so it's 20 feet.
4 inch?
I believe it's a 4 inch on this one, yeah. So, but yeah, that's the problem is that back when this was put in, it was done properly. They a lot of times just put it in packed clay or gravel. They didn't have separate casings, but over time they tend to walk is what they found. This is why now new standards require that. We weren't sure what they were going to run into until they actually pulled the jack out of the ground, and that's where we have the problem here is we didn't know there could have been a casing there. There could have been a partial casing, but there was nothing when they pulled this out.
So what set of funding that we have is this going to come out of?
Yeah, so this could be either capital or sinking fundable. It is a major repair or renovation, so it could be either one.
It's on the action.
So what projects won't be completed because of this?
Nothing this year because we've had some delays, so there is some money in that capital fund that Steve had reported on before for this year, so it won't delay anything this year, but it will definitely, it would take some of that money out of that capital fund, which I think we had around $300,000, I want to say, left going into the end of the year here.
And obviously we have to do this.
We do. I mean, it's something we have to do in order to have it operating for school.
But my request, Mr. Hilton, is that we understand kind of longer term in a meeting or two, kind of what this causes to our overall project plan.
Yep. Mr. Madison and I have been talking about a capital projects update slated for June 22. We will build this in with the financial projections as well.
Correct.
Any other questions? Thank you, Josh.
Thank you.
Sorry about that, trustees. So now we'll move into action items.
I move to approve the middle school special education donation as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the middle school donation with thanks. Roll call vote. Trustee McGee? Aye. Trustee Lewis?
Aye.
Trustee Martinez?
Aye.
Trustee Miller?
Aye.
Trustee Davis?
Aye.
And chair votes aye.
I move to approve the 2025-26 final budget amendment as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the final budget amendments. Is there any discussion? Roll call vote. Trustee Lewis?
Aye.
Trustee Miller?
Aye.
Trustee Martinez?
Aye.
Trustee McGee? Aye. Trustee Davis?
Aye.
And chair votes aye.
I move that Tecumseh Public Schools Board of Education adopt the resolution authorizing the superintendent to negotiate the potential sale of the Herrick Park property and authorize the superintendent to negotiate terms and conditions on behalf of the district.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to authorize Mr. Hilton to negotiate the sale of Herrick Park. Any discussion?
Does it have a cap up to 50, or any cap on the amount, or are you just going to negotiate it as is?
As is.
Okay.
Roll call vote. Trustee Miller?
Aye.
Trustee Martinez?
Aye.
Trustee Davis?
Aye.
Trustee McGee? Trustee Lewis?
Aye.
And chair votes aye.
I move that the Tecumseh Public Schools Board of Education adopt the resolution authorizing the superintendent to negotiate the potential sale of the TPS land property and authorize the superintendent to negotiate terms and conditions on behalf of the district.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to authorize Mr. Hilton to negotiate for the TPS land. Any discussion?
I think just before the vote is taken, just a reminder that this is the first step. There will be another motion later, discussion, and then motion about the actual sale contract. This is just contract to allow Superintendent Hilden to be our agent for the purchase.
Correct. Roll call vote. Trustee Lewis?
Aye.
Trustee McGee? Aye. Trustee Davis?
Aye.
Trustee Martinez?
Aye.
Trustee Miller?
Aye.
And chair votes aye. For this last one, we are suspending our normal policy of discussion 1 week and then 2 weeks later doing the vote for the elevators repair because we are in a time crunch.
Which is allowable under the
Yes.
policy.
I move that we approve the middle school elevator repairs as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded for the middle school elevator repairs. Any discussion? Roll call vote. Trustee Miller?
Aye.
Trustee Martinez?
Aye.
Trustee Davis?
Aye.
Trustee McGee? Aye. Trustee Lewis?
Aye.
And chair votes aye. That will take us into superintendent report.
Okay, thank you, President Brooks. Trustees, I'm bringing forward tonight the Q4 update of year 4 of our strategic plan here in the Tecumseh Public Schools. And so you know this is about the time of the year where this will serve both as a fourth quarter update, but also as a year-end summary, if you will. And so first up this evening, I'm going to bring Mrs. Way up to the podium, and she's going to talk about academics and programs.
Okay, so just a reminder of what our goals are this year. So we were looking at developing and securing a new high school business course through the curriculum committee, and we also wanted to make sure we started implementing some of our newly developed career corner resources, such as our portrait of a graduate, into our existing curriculum, and still working with the ISD to provide some sort of soft skills certification for our students. So those were the main goals for this year in the academics and programs. So not too much new to report since the last time I reported. If we want to go to the next slide, thank you. But just to wrap this year up, we accomplished most things about the first half of the school year. But we did have the Career Connections PD for all of our staff over 2 days at our middle school and high school. It was a really great opportunity for staff to look at our priorities, our portrait of a graduate, and then take what they're currently teaching and embed career skills into their current curriculum versus having it feel like something totally separate or isolated lessons. It's more incorporated. So we had a great PD workshop for 2 days in October and November. And the next step with this is for our coaches and myself to work with departments and grade levels to refine this work, take a look at how it's going, and continue to build this within our curriculum. And then we also did explore some new career-connected courses. So we did approve the Data Careers course for the high school. And if you remember last year, we started a new 6th grade careers elective. We are actually expanding that. The kids gave really good feedback. They love this course. They love learning about different careers. So we're actually expanding that next year as an 8th grade elective as well. So students can continue down that path of really exploring what different careers are out there, kind of getting to know what their interests are, what their skills are. And then also incorporating an AI unit into this elective as well. And then with the soft skills certification, so still waiting on the ISD to choose the certification because ultimately they're going to pay for that. They're going to be doing that at the tech center. We want it to be aligned with what we're doing here. But in the meantime, we've still kind of done our own thing to make sure our students are getting these skills. Particularly in our English 12 course, we did a lot this year as far as incorporating some job readiness applications such as interview practice, resume building, those types of things embedded right into the course. And then also with our the Work Keys test, it's not called the Work Keys anymore, but it's called WIN. It's a test that the students have to take at 11th grade, and when they're done with that, they get work readiness certificates, so it kind of gives them a level between 1 and 5 of what their work readiness skills are as far as reading, math, and understanding data. So it was really cool. I got to administer the assessment with some kids, and you can see it pop right up with their little badge that they can download and print and put in their portfolio. So in the meantime, that's what we've been doing and hoping to have a little bit more movement with the ISD on that for the next year. Any questions for me? Okay.
I have a comment.
Yes.
So what I would really like to see from a job skills perspective in our curriculum more deeply is from outline to detailed story back to PowerPoint storytelling. And I feel like, as the parent of a high schooler, outlines there, PowerPoint's there, deep storytelling is not. And I will go blue in my face on this one. I very often write out the detailed narrative of either the request I'm making or the proposal I'm making. It's not an outline in a PowerPoint. There's, for lack of a better term, an essay in the middle. As a parent, I am not seeing enough writing. And so what that tells me as I bring in new team members into my corporation who are also challenged with this, schools aren't doing enough writing. So I'd like to encourage you that in the career aspect, think about that from career. Yes, they will use a lot of PowerPoint, a lot of Canva, a lot of presentations, but if they don't have the narrative down, they'll get creamed their first one. So I just think, I know you and I have talked about it. She's smiling. For those who can't see it on camera, we've talked about it a lot, but it's just something that I think is really, really important and that I'm seeing already emerging in the new generation of team members that are coming out.
So noted, and it's an ELA review year next year, so writing goes along with that review. So it's something that I know we've definitely started really talking about, especially at the high school, getting a more cohesive curriculum for writing that is embedded, not something that feels separate, but really incorporated with everything that we're doing, not just in the ELA class, but having it be across the curriculum. So thank you, noted, gotcha. Thank you. No more questions.
Okay, Mr. Ellison.
All right. Your 4 objectives. Is this the... It is the ones, okay. All right. I am looking at, the first one was develop master schedule, the sports intervention, enrichment, and independent practice grades 4 through 8. And as I said before, they are fully implemented. They're in the maintenance phase. They have implemented common planning time by subject area, established advisory period that provides opportunities for independent practice, homework completion, and student support. They've conducted weekly eye wellness screenings and created 4th and 5th grade math interventions, which I'm very glad of that because that seems to be lacking in a lot of schools. Offer study skills and resource lab, and ongoing staff collaboration and review processes are in place to ensure continuous improvement of the process, so it keeps replacing and continues to improve. Our strategic plan goal, the second part is create student leadership groups and increase student voice. This was across the K-12, not just 4-8. Their early learning centers promoted leadership through classroom jobs. They've also had PBIS activities and school-wide events around that leadership piece. The middle school building had student leadership teams that meets regularly with PBIS coaches to provide student input and feedback into the conditions of their 4 students.
students do participate in leadership and service organizations at the middle school level. In high school, has a leadership class that provides students with leadership opportunities and school improvement. I'm sure you all remember you had a student representative here, part of the board, as part of that leadership. And the leadership groups provide feedback structures and establish the support ongoing. So that they continue to make mistakes on those areas. And they are all fully implemented.
Thank you, sir. Trustees, any questions?
I do, I'm sorry. That or a comment, sorry. I'm talkative this evening. Maybe more of a comment to Mr. Hilton. But what I see as we move from elementary through middle school to high school is the kids in the leadership clubs are the same kids all the way through. And I don't know the root cause of that, but what I'd like to see is maybe the breadth of children that are in those clubs widen. You know, let's get a little more creative with how we encourage our scholars to be in leadership. I would also say, how do we make a part of leadership making our schools more inclusive? So I have received some feedback, which I think I've shared with Mr. Hilton, but if not, I will, regarding kind of maybe some, not inclusion of learning, not LRE or anything kind of like that, but like inclusion of kids of all different levels of capability and interest being included, you know, in peer-to-peer and those types of things, maybe being a little, this past year, or maybe a little shakier than in the past. So just something, especially from a leadership perspective, it's important that our scholars of all capabilities feel included, and that those scholars that we have that have the most capability understand and agree and live the concept of inclusivity. So,
Thank you.
I do want to take a moment to share on that topic. This is something very near and dear to the middle school model and heart as well. They're especially, you know, those formative years. Something new that we did try this year, which was a great success, was we started a peer-to-peer Project Lead the Way Robotics Club. So a student chosen to pair up with a student, and they provided that peer support. And the ISD was wonderful and allowed them to have their own competition, so to speak, at the county level robotics competition in December, and it was amazing. The students had so much fun, and their peers had just as much fun as they did, and so I feel like I wanted to bring that forward. If we haven't said that yet, that yes, like we agree with that 100%, and that was just one small thing that we did this year that was really impactful, and we're going to continue that next year as well.
yeah, that's exciting. Maybe even in the high school, I think.
I think it was Adrian, when we, one of our neighboring districts, handed out the first varsity letters for unified sports this year. So that's another way maybe that we can increase.
It's our inclusivity.
Really neat. I like that idea. That's great.
Yep.
I'm sorry, I don't, it's not a question, it's just similar to Trustee Davis's comments. As I've went around to some graduations and just asked folks, you know, how do you think about your years in Tecumseh? And one of the things that has been brought up is the leadership that we've established. And one of the comments that stuck with me is that it tends to be the kids, for some reason, that are on the homecoming court or really good at sports that we pull out, and they're natural leaders, right, because they play a sport. But then how do you include the folks that aren't in sports as a leader, because they also have leadership skills and want to be a part of something? So it'd be interesting if one of the future board meetings, if you could come and kind of explain to us how we can accomplish that. How do we reach out to all the kids and not just the ones that are connected to the teacher maybe, or to the athletics and other things, because I think it's so important. You see it in business today. Most of the time your leaders aren't the ones that went to school and played a sport. A lot of times it's your engineer that worked on the robotics class that is just phenomenal at presenting his case of what he did. We kind of saw that here. So I would love to see more of that as we come up.
I, I want to jump in on that point too, because I mean, I think it's It's an interesting discussion in a way. I mean, I think the question is, to what degree does being in one of these leadership groups or organizations within the school translate into real-world leadership skills? And how do we, as a district, prepare our students to be leaders when they leave here, right? Because really, I think that's the thing we're all kind of getting at. And it's, I think Darren's point is really good, right? That it may be that leadership in the real world is not the same set of skills that puts someone in a leadership club in the school. And is that the right target, right? I don't have an answer, but I mean that, as I listen to the discussion, I mean, that's the thought, right? Our goal is to produce adults who can go out and be successful and be engaged in their communities and be leaders in what they do, which I think we do to a large degree, right? And the question is, you know, how do we bring more students along on that path so that when they leave here, they have the skills to be leaders in whatever they choose to do? And I do think this is a great discussion to pick apart a little bit and carry forward.
Just a lot of the other clubs also offer leadership opportunities as well. So there's like leadership opportunities within band. The art teacher encouraged my son, who's very kind of an introvert, encouraged him to go and help out with some of the other kids and kind of be a part of the art club. And that's kind of to that peer-to-peer and also coaching and helping others. So I think some of those leadership skills are being brought out of people in those other groups as well.
I think if I could kind of summarize a little bit, trustees, I'm hearing a few things certainly around leadership and how do we engage a variety of children in opportunities to participate as leaders in whatever area that might be, but also it's speaking a little bit to me of our work inside of PBIS and what we do with children on a daily basis from elementary through high school. So give me a little time. I will work with these two and we will put something together and continue this discussion.
Sounds like a great strategic plan goal for our next round.
That's exactly what I was
There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back, Josh.
Thank you.
Again, a reminder on what our objectives for this year were: to continue the evaluation of our capital needs and estimate costs and address the building and infrastructure updates. We've got develop and implement a plan for next phases of building safety and security, and then also increasing communications with staff, families, and the community on our infrastructure projects and improvements. So for the fourth quarter here, I kind of broke it down by those three categories that you saw. Capital needs, we evaluated and updated the capital projects listing through 2030. So as Mr. Helton mentioned earlier, that will be coming to you guys in the next board meeting, where we'll have an update on the capital and sinking funds with those updated numbers. We've completed cost estimations and design documents here in June, so those are all going out right now in preparation for fall bids so that we're ready for next summer. So all of that, I'll have those updates for you next meeting. And then we prioritize our projects based on need, cost-saving opportunities, vendor availability. So I say cost-saving opportunities, a lot of those are either grants or funding mechanisms, but also then vendor availability, where we can get our best bang for the buck for, lack of a better term. Safety and security, we've completed installation of the new hydration stations and water filters in the schools. So if you haven't seen them, we have these great black LK drinking fountains throughout the building now. They do have triple filters, so they meet all the state standards for lead and copper. We also purchased the ones that have a sediment filter so that we don't have to be changing the lead and copper filters every time the city flushes the hydrant. So we did have, so we are ready for that for this next school year. We did complete it before the June 30 deadline that the state gave everybody. Updating the TPS emergency management plan. So there was some new legislation this year, so we had to make some
adopt some new things into our plan. We're working on that right now, and then we'll be working with our building principals and our safety and security teams to make sure that it meets all of their needs and then that'll come rolling out before school starts. And then we began planning for additional security updates. So again, we're still looking at radios, we're looking at door alarms, we're looking at a lot of things, but all that's kind of based on future funding and what that looks like through different either grant opportunities or planning through our sinking funds. And then for communications, we had the website update. So right now we're working through the sinking fund. Like I said, more information here at the end of June on the updated projects and costs. So then we'll be able to update our website and have that information for the community and the public to take a look at. We'll also have a new Google calendar we're looking at rolling out for the school year that will be part of our FMX calendar that we're using now with all of our building schedules. So all the things that are both athletics and community events, things that are in our building, we'll be able to look at that online, and parents in the community will see what we're doing.
Thank you.
Thanks, Josh. Okay, trustees, moving on. Ms. Adamczak was unfortunately unable to be here this evening. She did have a family matter that came up, so I'm going to be reporting out in the area of personnel and leadership. Trustees, you know, as the year began, we set out to accomplish a few main objectives. The first one was to establish a complete offboarding process for employees that included feedback for us regarding the employee's experience in the Tecumseh Public Schools, as well as then to allow us to move timely in refilling positions. The second goal really was updating and finalizing our existing set of job descriptions to ensure a few things. One of those being the clarity of roles and responsibilities that drive performance standards, that also then drive the set of supports that we offer our employees in meeting those roles, responsibilities, and standards. So as the year progressed, you know that Ms. Adamczak has been hard at work at this, and we are in a place where, as part of our welcome back for administrators this August, we will be officially rolling out our offboarding process. And then additionally, Ms. Adamczak, over the summer months, will finalize our existing job descriptions. And the thing that I want to emphasize with you as trustees, the key here is that our offboarding process informs district administrators about our employees' experience, which will then inform our processes, procedures, and how we support our people in doing their positions at a high level in the Tecumseh Public Schools. Any questions in regard to personnel and leadership? Okay, in the area of communications and community engagement, we set out to continue our marketing and communication efforts. We wanted to establish a plan for the pool, develop a branding kit, and then plan for a community engagement process regarding what really is the future of our strategic plan in the Tecumseh Public Schools. So as you know, we've done quite a bit of work this year with our social media presence and sharing the good news of our district. We've attended to our pool in some really, really difficult yet appropriate ways. You've seen the branding kit that we have put together and that we will roll out this fall, and we're now really looking towards the future. So we've had this discussion at the table, trustees, but you know that we're going to launch a new strategic planning process this fall. We've completed year 4 of our current strategic plan, and I think it goes without saying, but I'll say it anyway, the last 4 years have brought much change. And so given that, it's just simply time for us to update our plan. So this fall, we're going to launch with a series of community engagement meetings, input sessions, and much more with students, staff, parents, and community members. And it's really the opportunity for everyone to have a voice in the development of a strategic plan that will attend to the next 3 to 5 years in the Tecumseh Public Schools. So I'm going to be sharing much, much more about this with you as trustees, with staff, parents, students, and the community as we get closer to the launch of school. We will publish this far and wide in the hopes that we will really engage our community, and the idea is that we want everyone to make their their voice heard as we establish the goals and objectives for the next 3 to 5 years in the Tecumseh Public Schools. Any questions about communications and engagement? Okay, trustees, thank you.
Okay, that will take us to closed session.
All right. I move that the Board of Education appoint Erin Walls as hearing officer for the district and authorize her to conduct a hearing according to board policy and administrative procedures.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded for Erin Waltz, yes, to act on our behalf in closed session. Roll call vote. Trustee Miller?
Aye.
Trustee Martinez?
Aye.
Trustee Davis?
Aye.
Trustee McGee? Aye. Trustee Lewis?
Aye.
And chair votes aye.
Pursuant to Section 8B of the Open Meetings Act, I move that we enter closed session to discuss student discipline.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to go into closed session. Roll call vote. Trustee Martinez?
Aye.
Trustee Miller?
Aye.
Trustee Davis?
Aye.
Trustee McGee? Aye. Trustee Lewis?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. We are in closed session at 6:46. Good? Yep. All right. We are back in session at 8:57.
The board has asked that I read a resolution. This is a regular meeting of the Board of Education returning from a closed session regarding a student whose identity is known to the board. The administration has recommended that the student be permanently expelled for violating the Student Code of Conduct. The board has carefully considered all of the evidence produced in this student discipline hearing. Be it resolved that a preponderance of the evidence establishes that on April 17th, 2026, the student violated the Student Code of Conduct. After careful consideration of the 7 factors as set out in the revised school code, section 1310D, the board determines that expulsion is warranted. During the time of the expulsion, the student may not be on school grounds or attend any functions at the district without prior written approval from the administrator. Consistent with the revised school code, sections 1311.1 and 1311A, the board finds that the interests of the district are served by this resolution. Administrators are directed and authorized to implement all terms of this resolution and are delegated all necessary authority to do so. Call the ayes.
I move that we approve the resolution as read by Erin Walls.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the resolution as read. Roll call vote. Trustee Davis?
Aye.
Trustee McGee? Trustee Lewis?
Aye.
Trustee Miller?
Aye.
Trustee Martinez?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Motion is passed. I did. I'm sorry, did I not call Trustee Lewis?
You did.
No, you did. I just missed somebody when I was
Oh,
reading.
you missed him. I apologize. Thank you.
I missed somebody, sorry.
That will take us to board member, I'm sorry, what was that? Oh, board member comment and discussion.
We talked about a lot today that deals with the future of our scholars, as I like to call them. I want to make sure as we enter into the strategic plan for the district, that we say employability, but how do we do that in a inclusive manner? Some districts have taken employability a little to the extreme, and so I want to make sure that we don't lose the art sciences, that kind of thing. But I would also say too that I want to make sure as we start with the strategic plan activities that we also include what is the culture we want to have in Tecumseh Public Schools, and identify, do we have a gap to that, and make sure that our handbooks and policies and procedures match that culture, but also that we have clear communication to our students and their parents about how the partnership will work between us and them, related to many of the emerging trends that are unfortunately coming to education fast and furiously. So, the school year recently ended. I think we owe a debt of gratitude to our teachers for this year and how they stuck by our children through all of it. And I just hope everybody has a good summer and we can come back for 26, 27 stronger.
Well said. Mr. Lewis, I heard you were at the baseball game. You got some highlights?
I was going to, everybody hear me okay? Okay, yeah, I don't think I'm usually a party here.
The game was one thing. It was a really well-played high school baseball game. Wrong team won, of course, but it was a great game. But to me, the difference was, and I saw this watching the volleyball team this year go through the tournament, the girls' basketball team. We had 3 parents for every one that Divine Child had there. When Jake and I went to the basketball game, that was the finals where they lost, and I thought Goodrich, it's a town about size of Tecumseh, kind of a similar chemistry. I thought they would have a lot of parents, and they did, but not compared to what we had. And that makes me feel better knowing that when you're on the board, you're fighting for all those kids. And it's not just the sports, but I mean you don't see travel that much with other different programs, right. And it's pretty astounding. But like I said in the meeting over there, I mean this school is the face of the district. I mean, of the town. Our district is the town. I mean, it used to be Tecumseh Products when I lived here. I mean, all the products down there, and everybody's dad worked there. I felt odd because my dad didn't work at the products. And I remember when I got in trouble in the mornings and had to go in for the sunrise service, they called it, going in and cleaning stuff in the morning. I would come in, you'd see all these guys, they didn't even drive a car, they're just walking through town with their lunch bucket in their hand and walking to the products. But that's gone, so we're the face of that. I think we've got a lot of great things to work with. I know you saw all the coaches we have up there that are got all-state or all-conference, or not all-state, but state recognition or conference recognition. So we got good leadership. I think we got pretty good leadership in our buildings and certainly in central office. It's as good as I've ever seen it.
Anyone else? I would like to thank everyone for tonight. This was one of the first times that we worked together as a board and really were honest and open, and everyone shared their thoughts. And I want to personally thank you for making that a reality tonight. It was a very tough decision. It was a tough position we were put in, and we rose to the occasion, and I thank you all for that. It's always nice when the board starts to gel. Anything else?
I move we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. We're out of here.